Today on Public Eye News, communities in the Upper Peninsula receive grants for road improvements. And later we'll have everything you need to know about the unsealed indictment in the Eric Adams case.
Austin Graham will have your weather forecast for the next couple days, and later, today's sports breakdown. I'm Jackson Spencer.
And I'm Liam Euland-Joy. This is Public Eye News. House Bill 5583 has been passed in the Michigan legislature. It is part of the Bringing Reforms in Integrity, Transparency, and Ethics Act, also called the BRIGHT Act. It aims to make the Michigan government more transparent. Both Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and Attorney General Dana Nessel spoke in favor of the bill earlier this year. Attorney General Nessel said, quote, "Powerful interests have exploited gaps in our campaign finance laws to influence elections and public policy for far too long," end quote. She described the bill as an important step toward addressing the issue. It grants the Secretary of State the power to seek immediate court injunctions against campaign finance violations. And a number of UP towns have received funding to repair and upgrade their infrastructure under new grants announced by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The towns of Bessemer, South Range, Crystal Falls, and Menominee have received funding totaling around $700,000 under the program. In addition, many towns and villages in the Lower Peninsula with populations under 10,000 will receive funding as well. Grant awards range from $54,000 to $250,000. In total, $5.1 million have been allocated under the program. This money is intended for use in road resurfacing, culvert replacement, pavement crack sealing, and other preservative measures.
The Northern Michigan University Alumni Association has formally announced the 2024 award recipients. Jim Thorburn earned the Alumni Achievement Award. The Outstanding Young Alumni Awards were given to Ryan McAllister and Megan Persons. Ann Kasheen and Patrick Kasheen both received the Distinguished Alumni Award, the first joint recipients in university history. Jim Mansfield received the Alumni Service Community Award and was also honored with a National Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. These awards are part of a tradition started in 1964 and are given as part of an annual awards program during each year's homecoming. And Governor Tony Evers of Wisconsin has announced a new program to help owners of older homes make critical repairs and upgrades. It's called the More Like Home Repair and Renew Loan Program. The governor's announcement comes as he and his new administration celebrate National Clean Energy Week this week. The program will make it easier for homeowners to increase energy efficiency, safety, and security. How does it aim to accomplish that? By providing low interest loans between $5,000 and $50,000 for owners of homes 40 years or older. They can be used to finance roofing, insulation, plumbing, electrical, heating, and air conditioning. More information about the loan is available at morelikehomeloan.wheda.com.
And our very own WNMU held a candidate forum for the 109th District in the Michigan House of Representatives, as absentee voting begins this week. A multimedia journalism class here at Northern Michigan got the opportunity to attend, and reporter Michaela Pazorski has the story. Take a look.
WNMU recently had the chance to host a debate concerning the historically Democratic 109th District. The candidates squared off before a studio audience and a panel made up of local broadcasters. During the debate, State Representative Jen Hill and her opponent Carl Bonak discussed several voting issues, including housing, voting regulations, education, and energy programs.
We need to address these housing issues. I also hear very much about the crisis in mental health, from our young people in schools to older folks.
Housing, that's a very important issue, and the cost. And I believe the cost is so high because of regulations.
Hill was elected to the House in 2022 and is running her re-election campaign on the theme of bringing people together to get things done.
We come together, all of us, across the county, across the community, we can really move mountains and, frankly, bring in more money. The more we work together, the more money we can bring in as well.
On the other side of the aisle, Bonak has worked for over 30 years as a meteorologist at Marquette's TV6. One of the major platforms he's running on is the idea of creating more freedom.
I think it boils down to the state bureaucracy, the admin state. I believe that we should look at everything from the standpoint of regulations. Do we need these regulations?
Hill won by 6 points in 2022, but this reliably Democratic race is much closer and drawing a lot of money from both parties, with control of the state house in the balance. Democrats took control of Michigan's House and Senate in 2022, and will be looking to do the same this year. Reporting for Public Eye News, I'm Michaela Pozorski.
The candidate forum will air tonight on TV6 at 7 p.m. and right here on WNMU TV on Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break. Don't go anywhere.
It's absolute chaos. It's a war zone. This situation has been brought about by the fire, by the flood.
It's going to transform the whole place.
Oh, that is crazy.
Have you got visual of him?
These intruders are walking straight into trouble. Another pride will kill those cubs.
It looks like there's only 5 cubs.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Austin Graham, and here is your weather forecast for today. Taking a look outside at the Academic Ball, we can see it is a gorgeous day here on the campus of Northern Michigan University. Moving into the map here across the UP, sunny conditions all across the Upper Peninsula today. Starting off in Houghton, partly cloudy with a temperature of 78. Over at Ironwood, 78. Down in Iron Mountain, a little cloudy, 80 degrees though, so fairly hot down there. Way down in Menominee, 74 degrees. We'll take a look on the other side of the Upper Peninsula here towards the eastern side as we look at Escanaba at 72 degrees, at Manistee at 72. Over in the Sioux, it is 73 degrees. And in our lovely Marquette, it is 72 and sunny with our winds coming out of the northeast at 7 miles an hour. Our barometric pressure is 29.99 inches and rising. And if we look to tonight, we're going to have more clear conditions here in Marquette with a low of 57, winds coming out of the south-southwest at 10 miles an hour, and our moon phase will be a waning crescent. And we move into tomorrow. Those sunny conditions still going to be here for us. A high of 75, a low of 53, and the winds coming out of the north at 7 miles an hour. And if we look ahead towards the weekend and into next week, on Saturday, a high of 70, a low of 54, sunny conditions. Sunday, it'll be 69 and a low of 52 with partly cloudy conditions. And those partly cloudy skies will be going into Monday with a high of 75 and a low of 51. That's all I have for the weather report today. Back to the news desk.
Well, thank you for that weather update, Austin. I personally appreciate a few little rays of sun before we fully settle in for fall. But now it's time for your national news, starting with this. New York City Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on charges alleging that he took bribes and illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources. He is the first New York mayor to be indicted. Prosecutors say he accepted tens of thousands of dollars in free Turkish flights and upgrades, hotel stays, and other amenities. The indictment alleges he solicited and demanded bribes, with U.S. Attorney Damian Williams saying Adams engaged in long-running corruption for nearly a decade. It comes after weeks of scrutiny on the mayor and his inner circle resulted in raids and subpoenas. Adam denied the charges in a press conference this morning, saying, quote, "Everyone who knows me knows that I follow campaign rules and I follow the law," end quote. Adam says he will stay on as mayor for the duration of his term. And 19-year-old Joshua Darrow Lowe II of Bailey, Michigan, has been indicted on charges relating to an alleged bomb hoax. The charges stem from an incident in January 2024 when Carnival Cruise Lines received an email alleging that someone on their Sunrise cruise ship had a bomb. The email warning caused ship personnel to individually search over 1,000 staterooms and alert both the U.S. Coast Guard and the Jamaican authorities. U.S. Attorney Mark Totten announced the indictment of Lowe, saying, quote, "Hoaxes can endanger lives, incur needless costs, and divert public safety resources needed to address real threats," end quote. According to court documents, Lowe is charged with making a false bomb threat. And continuing our coverage of the conflict in Lebanon, Israel launched airstrikes overnight, and the U.S. is leading an effort to enact a temporary ceasefire. With more, CBS News has the latest.
In the southern Lebanese village of Maisada, lives have been obliterated beyond recognition by Israeli airstrikes. After 4 days of some of the most devastating and deadly violence between Israel and Hezbollah, which has seen over 600 people killed in Lebanon and thousands more wounded, including this little boy from the southern city of Sidon, there's now a glimmer of hope. The United States, its allies in Europe, and several Arab nations have unveiled a 21-day joint ceasefire proposal to temporarily end the brutal violence and prevent a regional war. In a statement, President Biden said it's time for a settlement on the Israel-Lebanon border that ensures safety and security to enable civilians to return to their homes. Israel's prime minister has dismissed the temporary ceasefire proposal, while Lebanon has signaled support for it. And while Hezbollah would not be asked to formally accept the deal, as it's not a state institution within Lebanon, the Lebanese government would ensure the pause in fighting would be followed. The cross-border violence began last October when Israel launched its war on Gaza following Hamas's deadly attack. Since then, Hezbollah has been exchanging near-daily fire with Israel, leading to the displacement of around 60,000 Israelis and over 200,000 Lebanese, with a further 90,000 in just the past few days alone, according to the UN.
And the hope is the temporary ceasefire would lead to longer-term stability along the Israel-Lebanon border. And while Gaza is not mentioned in the proposal, U.S. officials hope the deal could give, quote, diplomatic space to revive stalled negotiations between Israel and Hamas for a ceasefire and hostage release deal. In Pia's time, CBS News, Beirut.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with our sports breakdown after this short break.
Was Einstein wrong?
They said the world simply can't operate that way.
Quantum mechanics.
We're left with conclusions about the universe that make no sense.
Key to our most advanced technology, yet shattering the laws of space and time.
Even if they're very far apart, in a way they're always coordinated.
Have scientists finally found the answer?
Everything is possible.
To Einstein's quantum riddle on Nova.
Tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back. I'm Austin Graham, and this is your Public Eye Sports Report. Starting things off on the mound, the Detroit Tigers blew out the Tampa Bay Rays 7-1, strengthening their chances for a playoff spot. Parker Meadows got things going for the Tigers in the bottom of the first with a line drive to right field, with another two-run homer coming from Spencer Torkelson later on in the sixth. Rookie Kiter Montero saw some action on the mound for 2 innings before manager A.J. Hinch brought in Jackson Jobe, the top pitching prospect in the MLB, to close things out for Detroit. Jobe recorded his first ever out as a major leaguer and got the W for his squad. The Tigers are now tied for the second wildcard spot with Kansas City and have just swept the Rays with a 4-3 win today. And blitzing on over to football, the New York Giants are set to host the Dallas Cowboys tonight on Thursday Night Football. Both teams enter the game with a 1-2 record, with Dallas having won the most recent matchup against the Giants. During their 2 meetings last year, the Cowboys outscored the Giants 89-17. That is the largest point differential that Dallas has had in 2 games against an NFC East opponent. New York could be in for a long night against Dak Prescott, as the majority of the team's secondary is dealing with the injury bug. Cornerbacks Drew Phillips and Adoree Jackson left Sunday's game against Cleveland with calf injuries, while Mike McLeod hurt his knee in the season opener versus Minnesota, and he hasn't seen the field since then. The showdown between the 2 squads kicks off tonight at 8:15. And anything's on the pitch. The NMU men's soccer team is back in town this weekend for 2 huge GLIAC matchups. The Wildcats will host last year's conference tournament champions Purdue Northwest tomorrow afternoon, and last year's regular season champions Parkside on Sunday. Purdue Northwest made an appearance in the NCAA tournament last season and sit at 3rd in the GLIAC. Parkside sits at 2nd in the league coming into the weekend and are ranked 21st nationally. NMU is currently 6th in the conference, and they'll kick things off tomorrow at 3 versus Purdue Northwest, followed up by a tilt with Parkside on Sunday at 2. That's all I have for sports. Back to the news desk.
Thank you, Austin, for that lovely sports breakdown. We have a lot of hope for our Wildcats this weekend.
Certainly. It seems like it's going to be a very big weekend for NMU sports, a bit of a make or break, but we'll be rooting for them. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Liam Mullen-Joy.
I'm Jackson Spencer.
And we'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.